Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Welcome to our Saturday live question and answer class. Each week we cover a topic in American English pronunciation and American accent, and I take your questions. So please feel free to put your questions in the chat at any time. I'll cover them after we talk about today's topic. So today we're going to talk about a couple of phrases. This was a request from a viewer who wanted some help with the phrases I was thinking, and that was a good idea. And we're going to look at how we say these in fluent speech. So what changes, what's the rhythm, what sounds do we make, and how do we link these together to sound natural and fluent when we're speaking. These phrases are common everyday things that we say. Some of the things that we'll talk about that happen in these phrases happen all of the time in connected speech. You can find out more about what I like to call real talk, the way we reduce and link, in our real talk videos, as well as in our reductions and linking playlists. You can find those on the channel when you go to our channel page and look under playlists. And I also have an online course called Real Talk, which takes a look at TV, movies, ads, common everyday phrases, and shows you how they really sound, writes them out versus how the written words look. Okay, so looking at I was thinking, where we're stressing here is on the word thinking, and the first syllable is stressed, thinking. So thing is going to be longer and king is going to be shorter. And that means that I was is going to be fast and it's going to link together. I was thinking. So thinking about how if I were just saying I was, I would have a lot of time on my vowel for the word was, I was. But since I'm saying I was thinking, I was thinking, we're just going to have that very short schwa in there, where it's going to have the word I and then was, I was thinking. A great way to get this rhythm is to just start on the stressed part of the sentence and then go back, like thinking, I was thinking. Otherwise, you may sound a little more like I was thinking, which is not wrong, is correct pronunciation. You can just hear how it doesn't sound as natural or as fluent as I was thinking. Then when we're saying that was a good idea, we have our main stress is on idea, on the D of idea. Good may have a little bit more length as well because it's an important adjective here. That was a good idea versus that was a bad idea. And again, now my that was a is all going to link together and be reduced. If I was stressing on that was a good idea, having more length, I would have a clear ah for that. Because I'm not stressing, I'm stressing on idea, my that can become a little bit reduced in the vowel. That was a good idea. I'm still probably going to use the true ah sound, but it's going to again be very fast. That was a. Was and are going to link together, and it's going to sound like was a good. I'll have some length on my good, and then idea. So that was a good idea. So not a lot of changes in these phrases. It's really mostly about where we're stretching and where we're going slow. Again, starting on the stressed syllable or stressed word and going backwards may help you with this rhythm. That would sound like idea, good idea, that was a good idea, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you can kind of try just with the rhythm and without saying the words and sounds in order to get that relative length of those sounds. There are other ways you could express these. Like I mentioned before, if I'm really trying to highlight specifically that was a good idea. That was a good idea, meaning stressing on the past, that was a good idea. More stress on good than idea if I'm trying to highlight that piece of it. So our typical pattern is to stress the last content word like thinking or idea, nouns and verbs, adjectives, the most important part of the phrase that comes closest to the end. But you can hear that I can stress a different word if I'm changing the meaning, like I was thinking versus he was thinking, I was thinking focusing on the past, or the regular way, I was thinking. Okay, so I hope that this helped our viewer who wanted to have some help with these phrases, and just helping you to think about how rhythm really affects our pronunciation and really affects how we sound in terms of fluency. Really having the ability to go quickly through the unstressed parts of the phrases and then stretching more on the stressed parts is a valuable tool. Welcome everyone. It's nice to see so many of you here. I'll turn to your questions now. If you're just joining us, feel free to put your questions in the chat at any time, or if you're watching as a replay, you can type your questions in the comments and I'll return to you with answers, give you links to videos that can help you, or cover your words in a future class. Okay, welcome. We have a question about the word walls. So for a lot of people, the combination of the ALL, like in tall or wall or all, is difficult. Walls has just one syllable. For these ALL words, we have the ah vowel, wall. Sometimes people think of it as the ah vowel, wall, but you want a little bit of rounding there, wall. Then we have our dark L, and letter S is going to say the Z sound, walls. So you can maybe rewrite it like walls. That might be a way to think of it. Also just build it from the vowel, all, wall, walls. If you have trouble with that Z, it might help to link the walls are thin, and say that your Z sound together with the next vowel. Thank you. That's a great request. I do have several videos for words with all, like tall, fall, and wall, etc. If that may help you as well. Okay, welcome to our channel members who are here today. It's nice to see you as well. We have a question about the word plans, whether this S sound says S or Z, and it says a Z sound because it's following the consonant. So we have the A vowel here, plans. Again, I can say my plans are to go, and I'll hear that Z more clearly. If I'm just saying plans, my plans, what you can notice is that when we have a final Z sound on a word, like plans or is or was, that I'm not using a strong Z. I'm not saying plans with a strong Z. It is a light Z, plans. You'll hear it stronger if I'm saying plans are. That's where it's really clear that the voicing is there. So the final Z sounds, it is, it was, may sound a little to your ear like an S, but what they are is a light sound. So a light Z can sound similar to a light S, but we don't want a strong S. That would sound like plants or is or was. You can hear how that is incorrect. It would come out like plansar, sar. So if I have any strength to the S, it's going to be incorrect. If it's a very light S or a light Z, plans, my plans, it is, it was. It is a Z sound, but it will sound light. So that's something that's important to remember, because often when you're trying to do those final Zs, it doesn't feel natural to do was, is, plans with a strong Z. You need to be able to learn that light Z and not use a strong sound, not a strong S. Okay, thank you. Yes, we've talked a lot in comments recently about those S's and Z's at the ends of words, so it's nice to see you here in our live class. Okay, we have a question about arrow versus error. So both of these have the same first sound. Letters AR and ER both say air in these words. For arrow, we have an O for the second part. So we have air, O, first syllable stress. And for error, we have our air and then a short sound. So letters OR say just error. And you can think of in arrow, if it helps you to think about arrow, putting that R together with like the word O, row, it can help you. error, same thing as we're moving from the air through that R into the next error. It's almost like there's an initial R in the middle there. So arrow, error. You might want to try again linking for these because it might help you. Like my arrow is straight. The error is. You're going to hear that kind of like a riz with that final R. The error is clear. The arrow is straight. Yeah, tough combination. Thank you for bringing that up. I do have other similar combinations in our minimal pairs and contrasting words playlist that looks at words that are similar, only different by one sound or by a couple of sounds. So that might be helpful for you in future if those kinds of contrasts are difficult for you or if they're helpful in learning the sounds. Okay, welcome to our, all of you. It's nice to see you. Channel members, thank you for being here. We have a question about the word appraisal. So for appraisal, we have second syllable stress. That means our first letter A is going to be a schwa sound, and it's going to sound like My praise is going to be where I have my clear vowel and the stress. It has the A diphthong, pray, diphthong. And then letter S is going to be a Z sound. Letter A is going to be either a schwa or almost no vowel there. So it sounds like appraisal. So I just moved very quickly from my Z to my U. There might be a little sound in there, a little schwa, zul, appraisal. For this one, I would practice starting on the stress syllable, like praisal, appraisal. That's going to help you keep that first unstressed sound nice and short and reduced, appraisal. And then again, also try practicing it in some phrases like my appraisal, we need to get an appraisal on the house, etc. Thank you for that. That's a good word to cover. Okay, we have a question about live, leave, life, living, leaving, life, and leave. Okay, so lots of words with the E and the I. So first of all, this word can be live or live. So it's either live, like I live, the verb, or live, I'm live here on Facebook. The difference being live is the I vowel and live is the I vowel, like in right or night. And then when we're talking about, living and life. So let's break them down. That we have the I vowel for live and also for living. That's also the I vowel. And then for live, she's live or her life. Again, that has the I diphthong, life. My life, it's live. We live, the living. And then when we're looking at leaving or leave, we have the E vowel. So that's a tense vowel. So I like to pair it with another word, like we leave or we need to leave, keeping that E the same. And then it lives, for example, it's living. For the I, you could say my life, same vowel, or a time to go live, the same I vowel. I do have a video about live and leave, as well as several videos talking about the I and E contrasts, because those are very challenging to hear the difference. So you can check those out on our vowels playlist or also on our minimal pairs playlist. I do talk about these words and also these sounds in our Sounds of English course as well on speechmodification.com. In that course, I walk you through all of the letters and sounds, spelling, pronunciation, and help you to build up your understanding of the sound system of English so that you can confidently say any word you like. Kind of learn about which words have which sounds, what accent error patterns to watch out for, can help you with those challenging pieces as well as everyday words so that you can really understand English spelling doesn't really match our sounds, and so that can be very challenging, as well as hearing differences between vowel sounds or consonant sounds that are different in your native language versus in English. So check that out on our website, speechmodification.com. Okay, great. Nice to see you. Let's take another question about if there's any difference between uneducated and an educated person. So the educated will sound the same. In uneducated, we're going to be stressing on the ed, and the un is going to be a schwa sound. Uneducated, he's uneducated. Or if I'm saying educated versus uneducated, I may have some secondary stress on un, but I'm never going to be stressing on an. It's an educated guess, it's uneducated. And often in an, it's going to sound more just like a very reduced vowel rather than an educated. It's going to sound like it's an educated. So you end up with more of just a syllabic N there. It's an educated guess. He's uneducated. So this one you'll hear and this one you'll hear just more it's an, or foreign educated, foreign. It's just going to sound like n, and this is going to sound like un. You're going to have that clear vowel of in this and not in this one. Thank you. That's a good question. Okay. We also have a question about the words we're, were, and where. So I do have a couple of different videos about these words. And what we're looking at here again is just vowel differences. They're minimal pairs. So for we're going to have the ear sound. It's like in ear or fear. I'll rewrite that for you like we're going. Sometimes in fast speech, we're becomes more like were. So were, we just have the sound. It's the same as this kind of were. You can think of it just like were. We were, they were. But if I'm in fast speech, I'm saying, if I'm stressing on we're, I might say, we're going to be there. But if I'm just using it quickly, we're going to be there, it will end up sounding the same as this one. So the reduction of we're is were. We're going, we're doing it, we're being there. Unless I'm stressing and highlighting it, no, we're being there, that's where I'm going to use that clear ear sound. Otherwise, it'll sound more like were. But where doesn't sound the same. That one has the air diphthong. So it's where. And you can think about that like this. It's also the same as the word wear, as in warehouse or goods and wares, and the same as this wear, like I wear clothes. So where are you going to wear those clothes? Versus we're and were, that get that kind of that sound. Challenging, definitely. Also because the spelling doesn't really make that clear. So finding a way to rewrite it and visualize it with a different spelling that helps you remember the sounds can be very useful and helpful. Okay, wonderful. Great questions today. It's nice to see so many of you here, and thank you for being a part of class and supporting the channel. I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed, joined as channel members. Some of our channel members have been gifted memberships. That's something that I've been doing lately. I can't select you specifically, but if you click on Allow Gifts, you can follow the links on our community page, or when you click on Subscribe and Join, you can join on your own. Or if you'd like to be considered and to be eligible to receive a gift, you just need to allow gifts from the channel. And then the next time that I donate some gifts, YouTube may select you as one of the people to receive that membership. So channel members get some extra videos. They get a quick turnaround for their questions, as well as the online course memberships, which are the ones I'm gifting, can have access for 1 month to our online courses on speechmodification.com. And that's something that you can have as an ongoing practice as a contribution to the channel. So thank you for those of you who are our channel members. It's so nice to see so many of you joining the channel, and also just coming to class, watching our videos really helps the channel to grow. So I appreciate your support. Okay, let's take another question. We have a question about the word zeitgeist. So in English, we say this as this first EI is an I sound. So we have first syllable stress, zeit, and then secondary stress on the second syllable, also another I, geist, zeitgeist. So I might rewrite that like zeitgeist. That looks weird. Geist. You can think about it like, also it's similar to this, like guy, geist. So it comes from the German where the letters EI say I. So zeitgeist. You might notice that I'm not doing a strong T in the middle, zeitgeist. It's kind of an unreleased T. Or zeitgeist would be more typical for the German pronunciation. And then your other request was for tête-à-tête. So again, in English, we don't follow the French exactly. That would be more tête-à-tête, maybe tête, because it has these accents on those. So in English, again, think about it just like first one is unstressed, so tête, tête. So the rhythm is tête-à-tête, the second tête being more stretched. For American English, we use the vowel in, that's similar to the French vowel with that accent mark, tête-à-tête. Yeah, okay, good. Fun words to try. Loan words from German and from French into English. Okay, we have a question about volume and value. So for volume, we have the letter O says va, volume. So I'll rewrite that here with AH. And then an L, vol. And then we have this letter U saying a gliding y and an U sound. So volume. And then for value, we have the AL saying the A vowel like cat. So I would write that with val, similar to like gal or pal. The vowel is A. Here the vowel is A. And then again, we have the letter U saying the U. But in this case, no M at the end, obviously. So you might want to pair these with a matching word to help you with these vowels. For example, got, volume, or not, volume. Both of those have the ah. And then has, value, or that's, that value, to match that ah sound. Yeah, very typical. Letter O says ah in the stressed syllable in English, and letter A says ah. The L sometimes complicates things, but in these words, not so much. Great, those are good words. Thank you for that request. I do have videos for both volume and value on the channel. If you're looking for one of my videos, if you are using the search box on our channel page, mine will come up. If you use the general search box on YouTube, you may see other people's videos as well. Although if you're a frequent watcher, YouTube usually will show you my videos. And you can always leave a comment on any of my videos asking, have I covered a certain word? And I will send you the direct link to that video if I have it. Or I'll add your word to my list to cover in a future word of the day. Okay, great. A few more questions and then we'll wrap up for today. We have a question about the word apropos, as in apropos of nothing. Apropos. This is stressed on the po syllable. The S is silent. We do say an a for that first syllable, and then the middle syllable will be an sound. Our stress is on the o, so it sounds like a, like in cat, apropos. Apropos. Yeah, that's a good one. Hard to tell from the spelling. And again, a loan word into English, so it doesn't follow our pronunciation patterns and rules. And then your other word, wrong spelling. Inchoate. I'm thinking this is second syllable stress. Inchoate, with a schwa or an I sound there. But I'll have to double check. It could be inchoate. It could have a clear vowel on the A. So let me get back to you on inchoate or inchoate. It may have both correct pronunciations. It's not a word that I typically use. So it's not something that's in my active vocabulary. I have looked at it before because I think this is something that has been requested before. So I'll get back to you with a specific answer to give you the correct answer in the future. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, we have a question about whether lean and lean sound the same, and they do. They both have the E vowel, a lien on the property, and the lean cut of meat. So both have the same, yeah, or I lean towards the left. Okay, good. A question about if I have a French pronunciation channel. No, and I shouldn't because I'm not a native French speaker. I do my best. I speak a little bit of French and I try to follow the sounds correctly, but a French speaker would tell you that my pronunciation is not perfect in French. So a lot of times we have French words in English, and it's helpful to know how they are pronounced in English language versus in the French language. So that's something I talk about in my English videos, but I don't have a channel for French, no. Thank you, though, for your support. Okay, great. Let me just double check if have I missed any of your questions as we've gone through. Okay, a difference about, going back to yours, Jorge, about unaccepted and unaccepted, or unaccented and accented. Similar to how we talked about with uneducated and uneducated. So if something is unacceptable or unaccepted, we have the un here, the un sound, unaccepted. We're gonna have that clear sound there versus an accepted solution. Again, we're gonna have that reduced and, where it's going to sound more like that's an accepted, that's unaccepted. I think you can't really reduce the of unaccepted, because as a prefix, the un is important to hear the difference between accepted and unaccepted. It doesn't always have to be stressed, but it can't get reduced, versus an accepted idea, an accepted solution. You're going to maybe see this an as having a schwa, and it's really going to just kind of lose the vowel entirely. So same thing with unaccented and an accented speech. You can say an accented, or it's going to get reduced to an accented. So the reduction of an doesn't really become it becomes more n or in, or just an accented speech versus unaccented. Definitely an interesting and useful question you had, and hopefully you understood that the educated and educated guess and uneducated demonstrated the same topic, but we did come back to your particular words. Great. Okay. A question about unappetizing. So something is unappetizing. So here's an example again where the is not the stressed part. App is the stressed part of this word, but we're gonna still have some stress on so that we can hear that it's different than appetizing. So appetizing, unappetizing. So in unappetizing, we have the we have the app, unappetizing. So it's going to sound like unappetizing. That's very unappetizing. It's very unappetizing. And then you also are asking about inappropriate. In inappropriate, the pro is stressed, but again, we're going to keep our inappropriate. We're going to keep our I sound clear in that first syllable. So inappropriate. So our last ATE is going to have a reduced vowel and sound like it. Inappropriate. Versus if we had a word like appropriate, the verb that we have that clear A in inappropriate. Pro has the clear vowel, and then our final syllable is reduced. Inappropriate. Good. We have a question about joining courses. So my online courses are available all around the world. When you go to speechmodification.com, you can click on the courses and see what's available. Those are video courses with texts and lessons that you work through on your own. I also do one-on-one training, and that's something that you can check out on the website as well if that's something you're interested in. We also have a lot of free resources here on the channel. You can go through our playlists and use them as kind of a systematic way to join a course. Or as I mentioned earlier, if you join as a channel member, you can get access to our online courses as well. So you can go directly from the website, or if you want to support me via YouTube, you can join as a channel member, as an online course member, and select which online courses you'd like to have access to. I do keep all of our online courses inexpensive, so that they are more accessible to everyone around the world, no matter what your financial situation is. A lot of the courses are just $1.99, some are free, and some are under $10. So hopefully you'll be able to check those out. Okay, wonderful question. And it's so nice to have all of you here today. You've had great questions, and I really appreciate you attending the Saturday live classes and watching our daily videos in our word of the day. So I'll be back tomorrow with a word of the day, and we'll continue with our Saturday live question and answer classes. If you're watching this later, missed the live broadcast, you can always put a question in the comment or leave questions and comments on any of my videos. I do go through those every day, give you responses, let you know where you can find resources to answer your questions. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of class, supporting the channel. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.